Good afternoon, students. Today in our chemistry session we shall discuss oxygen family. Previously we are discussing nitrogen family, then this is oxygen family. 4 families are there in our course. One is nitrogen, oxygen, halogen and aerogen, the group 18. So you see, in this oxygen family is also called chalcogens. Chalcogens means ore forming. These are in the ores compounds. The meaning is ores forming. As for example, suppose iron sulfide, that is the ore of iron, copper sulfide, the ore of copper. So these are the sulfide ores. So most of the ores are present as oxides or sulfides. Say iron oxide, that is your ore of iron. Then copper oxide, that is also ore of copper. So you see, most of the ores are either oxides or sulfides. So for that reason, as oxygen, sulfur are present in this family, so these are known as chalcogens. This is the meaning why these are called chalcogens. Simply chalcogens, the meaning is ore forming, as these elements are involved in the formation of ores. So these are called halogens or generating ores. You can call it generating ores. So the elements are, you see, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, and the newly developed element having 116. Previously the IUPAC name was on-hexium. This is on-hexium. These are previously named as per the IUPAC naming, but at present, after 2003, that is at present, they are named as livermorium. Livermorium, after the name of Lawrence Livermore, a scientist, renowned scientist in that Lawrence Livermore. So as per Livermore, that is named as livermorium. Livermorium. And so as previously 115 is called muscovium. So similarly, this is called livermorium and symbol is Lv and the atomic number is 116. And this is highly radioactive and man-made elements. This is synthesized radioactive element. You can call it synthesized, prepared in the laboratory. Synthesized or artificial radioactive element. This is highly radioactive, short-lived. Remember, its half-life period is very small, short-lived. That means the half-life period is 6 milliseconds. You see how shortly that will be converted to other element. So this is very short-lived, synthesized and radioactive. So polonium is also radioactive, they are put by steric signs. So you see, these are the elements and the atomic number 8, 16, 34. The difference is 18. Here the difference is 8, magic numbers as we have discussed in the group 15. This is also another magic number 18, another magic number 32, another magic number 32. So magically the properties becomes identical after a difference of 8, 18, 18 and 32. So see, this is the case, and you see this is your 2,6. The general electron configuration is 2,6 or valency shell consists of NS2NP4, NS2NP4, 1, 2, 3, 4, Hund's rule, NS2NP4. So outside the valency shell is and 6 electron and the kernel contains 2 or helium configuration. Similarly, sulfur 286. This is the configuration of neon, and 6 means 3s2 3p4, 3s2 3p4. So in general you can call it NS2NP4, where N will vary from 2 to 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here in this case you will find the configuration 7s2 7p4, 7s2 7p4. And a penultimate cell of all these elements, penultimate as I have discussed in a previous class, penultimate means n minus 1. just below the valency shell, penultimate shell contains 18 electrons, and these 18 electrons we call it 2, 2 and 8 are called noble gas or duplet or octet. Similarly, it is called pseudo noble gas configuration, pseudo noble gas configuration. And these accounts for the different property like the atomic size, because you see from this onwards there will be electron in D, electron in D, electron in D and F, electron in D and F, electron in D and F. So, due to field D and F orbitals D10 and F14, there will be a shielding consideration. As a result, there will be contraction in your atomic size. Suppose here the atomic size is bigger, here it is still bigger because the cell increases, but here not that bigger as the difference like between oxygen and sulfur. So, you see the atomic radius difference is not regular. So, also the ionization enthalpy. The ionization enthalpy also the difference is not regular, but that gradually increases. So, if you consider ionization enthalpy, these are the physical trends. Ionization enthalpy, first electronic configuration, second is atomic radius, third is ionization enthalpy. The ionization enthalpy is represented by delta IH. I stands for ionization, S stands for the heat content, that means energy needed to expel the valency electron. So, this ionization energy you see that this is suppose nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen size is smaller, still oxygen is smaller because the atomic number increases, this is 7, this is 8. But you see what happens if you study the electronic configuration. So, generally we expect ionization enthalpy of oxygen is more than nitrogen, but what happens actually due to the electronic configuration S2P3, that means half filled configuration, due to this half filled configuration the ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is greater than oxygen, as we have discussed. Nitrogen is greater than oxygen. We are expecting oxygen to be greater than nitrogen due to the nuclear charge, but actually in practice the nitrogen having higher ionization enthalpy than oxygen, but due to this half filled configuration. But if you consider the second ionization energy, question is asked like this: the first ionization energy, first ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is greater than that of means the first ionization enthalpy of oxygen. Nitrogen is greater and oxygen is smaller. But if you consider the second ionization enthalpy, that means delta IH2 of oxygen, reverse, oxygen is greater than delta IH2 of nitrogen. So, question is asked like this: the first ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is greater than oxygen, but the second ionization energy is reverse, The question you can explain like this: simply write down the electronic configuration, then you can explain. Nitrogen is 2s2 2p3, that means half filled, 2s2 2p3, Hund's rule, 2s2 2p3. So, if you expel this electron from the second p orbital, then naturally that involves high input of energy. Why high input of energy? Why more energy is required? Because due to stable electronic configuration. Why this is stable? Because that is half filled. Half filled, full filled and noble gas configurations are stable configuration. So, as this is a half filled configuration, the expulsion of electron will be very difficult from what? From the half filled p orbital. So, but in the oxygen case you see 2s2 2p4. In the oxygen case you see 2s2 2p4, Hund's rule 1 1 1 2. So, you see this is not half filled, So, expulsion of electron from oxygen will be easier. Here it will be easier for expelling the electron. Expelling electron will be easier because this is not a stable configuration. So the first ionization energy of oxygen is less and first ionization energy of nitrogen is less. Then you consider the second ionization energy. In the second ionization energy, suppose nitrogen, one electron is expelled, that means 2s2, 2p2. So nitrogen plus, because one electron is already expelled, more is the number of electrons expelled, more is the positive charge. Similarly, oxygen, one electron is expelled, O plus, let us say O plus, the configuration is what? 2s2, 2p4, one electron is expelled, so 2s2, 2p3. So you see, the electronic configuration is just reverse. This is previously the electronic configuration of nitrogen. Now it is the configuration of what? Oxygen plus. So if it is oxygen plus, the electron expulsion of the second electron expulsion will be difficult because this is half filled configuration. So that means the delta IH value of O plus or the second ionization energy of oxygen will be more than that of nitrogen. So question is asked, the first ionization energy of nitrogen is greater than oxygen, but the second ionization energy is reverse. That means oxygen is greater than nitrogen because oxygen is having half filled configuration. So due to the O plus having a half filled configuration, so O plus minus electron to become to O2 plus, it is difficult or more energy is needed. More energy is needed because there is more attraction between O plus and the expelling electron or extracting electron. So you have to extract the electron, but the nuclear is more charged, so there is more strong force of attraction. Against the force of attraction, you have to exercise more energy. So the second ionization energy of oxygen will be difficult and it is greater than nitrogen. So this is one question. And generally you remember in the group 16, the ionization energy is what? Is less than that of the nitrogen family. It is expected to be greater, but it is less due to this electronic configuration. So this is, then you comes to the electron gain enthalpy. This is a very good question. That is a quantitative thing. The qualitative is electron affinity, the tendency to attract electron. But here the electron gain enthalpy is just opposite to ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy, electron is to be expelled, but in the electron gain enthalpy, electron is added. That means oxygen is a gaseous atom, isolated gaseous atom. If you put electron, there is a little attraction towards this, so that you will get O minus gas. And for gaining this electron, this is called gain of electron, or you can call it reduction. By gain of electron, here 0 oxidation number, here -1, decrease in oxidation number, addition of electron, you can call it what? Reduction. So ionization is oxidation and here electron gain enthalpy is reduction. So by addition of electron to an isolated gaseous oxygen, there will be evolution of energy, and the evolution of energy is how much? 141 kilojoule per mole. Suppose if you are asked what is the energy to be evolved when one electron is added to one oxygen atom, then you have to, this is per mole, that means 141 divided by 6.023 10 to the 23. For 1 mole of electron, this much of energy is needed. For 1 electron, what is the energy needed? This is of this. That means for this removal of for this electron, this much of energy is needed. For removal of this electron, this much energy is needed or expelled. But here there is expulsion of energy. This is exorgic or exothermic. Org means energy. So this much energy, if 1 mole per mole, if you take 1 mole of oxygen atom, 1 mole of electron, you will get 1 mole of oxide ion. This is oxide ion, that will be expulsion of what? 141 kilojoule of energy. This is exorgic. So, but your question is why sulfur is higher? Similar consideration in might we come across between fluorine and chlorine. your chlorine has higher electron gain enthalpy than fluorine. Amongst all elements in the world, if you are asked which element has a higher electron gain enthalpy, that means in which case the gain of electron, there is liberation of more energy, that is in case of chlorine. So, fluorine is the most electronegative element, but not having higher electron gain enthalpy. So, chlorine is the only element in the periodic table among the 118 elements. In this case, chlorine in gaseous state, the expulsion of energy, the outcome of energy will be more if isolated atom is added with a single electron. Similar case is in this case. Similar in this case, if you take the case of sulfur, sulfur plus electron, sulfur in gaseous state, add one electron, you are getting a sulfide ion, sulfur minus 1. So, here in this case 141, but here in this case 200 kilojoule. You see, there is greater energy is expelled, and the question is asked like this. This is a common question generally asked. Why chlorine has the higher electron gain enthalpy than fluorine? Why sulfur is having higher electron gain enthalpy than oxygen? The question is, you see, that means here more energy is evolved, means here there is more attraction. Attraction fall down the energy. Suppose this is the initial energy. If the energy falls down, if the energy getting down, then there must be attraction. If the energy increases, there will be potential energy increases, there will be repulsion. So, you see, there is no energy is gained here, but here you will get expulsion of energy. So, here is also attraction, but less attraction. Here you see more attraction, here still more, here still more attraction, still more attraction. Or you can call it attraction, here more attraction, or you can write down attraction and more attraction. More attraction means there will be fall of potential energy. Initially, if this is the energy, in case of sulfur, the energy of sulfide will be like this. That means the initial energy is more, final energy is less. So, there will be what? There will be energy will be released to the system, but to the surrounding. So, in this case, it is more energy is released, so more attraction, less energy is released, less attraction. So do not write down repulsion. If you write down repulsion, then energy will be needed. ଯଦି ରିପେଲ୍ ହେଉଥିବ ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଜବରଦସ୍ତ ପୁରେଇବା ପାଇଁ ହେଲେ ବାହାରୁ ବେଶୀ ଏନର୍ଜି ଦେବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ସନ୍ ହେଲେ ଏନର୍ଜି ବାହାରିବ, ରିପଲ୍ସନ୍ ହେଲେ ଏନର୍ଜି ତତେ ବାହାରକୁ ଦେବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. So you see, this is the case. So you don't write down repulsion, but you write down less attraction. Here there is more attraction, here there is less attraction. So then we have to consider why it is less attraction, where there is more attraction. The reason is, you see, oxygen is having a very small size than sulfur. Due to small size, suppose if you take 1 cc of oxygen. So as due to smaller size, here there will be more oxygen atoms closely packed. Due to smaller size per cc, there will be more oxygen atom, that means closely packed. Due to this packing of electrons, simply you write down packing. Due to the electrons atoms are closely packed, then there will be more number of electron density you can call it. Electron density, that means number of electrons per unit cc, per cubic centimeter. So electron density is more. As electron density is more, so when outside electron come to this vicinity, ଯେତେବେଳେ এই ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରନଟା ୟା ପାଖକୁ ଆସିବ, ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲି ଯେହେତୁ ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରନ କ୍ଲାଉଡ୍ ଏଠି ବେଶୀ ଅଛି, there will be a little bit repulsion or less attraction, or you can call it little bit repulsion. So due to this less attraction, less energy is evolved, and in this case sulfur having bigger size, so electron density, there will be less number of atoms, so naturally the electron density decreases, less densely populated or less packed. So less is the packing, and less is the electron density. Less is the electron density. As the electron density is less, when an electron approaches it, these are electron cloud is there. When an electron approaches it, there will what? There will be less repulsion or more attraction. As more attraction, more energy is evolved out. More energy is evolved. So that is the reason why, due to smaller size, closely packed, here you see 2s2 2p4, here you see 3s2 3p4. So due to 2s and 3s, the packing will be more in case of oxygen. As packing is more atoms are per cc, and more atoms are per cc means more electron density. As electron density is more, so when electron approaches it or when outside electron added to it, there will be less energy will be evolved out. So that is why oxygen in this case 141, but in this case 200. But you think of second electron gain enthalpy. Let us think of second electron gain enthalpy. Second, this is your first electron gain enthalpy, H1. This is H2, or simply you write down like this also. So second electron gain enthalpy is interesting. You see, oxygen gas, a single atom take. Single atom, 8 protons, 8 electrons. You insert one electron, gote electron ta pakhku dhariki ana. Dekhibo that attracts, so that you will get O minus 1 in gaseous state. This is called the first electron gain enthalpy. The energy released in this process, the EGH, that is the first electron gain enthalpy, and this is negative because exothermic energy is given out. Then you come to the O minus. O minus contains what? There will be 8 proton, no doubt, but 1 electron is added, so 9 electron. 8 proton, 9 electron. Here 8 proton, 8 electron. But here this is a neutral oxygen atom. This is charged. This is negatively charged, or you can call it anion, negatively charged. Now this is also in gaseous state. You insert an electron towards this vicinity, you get an electron which is also negatively charged. This is negatively charged, this is also negatively charged. Then what happens? Let us say what happens. You will be getting O2 minus, no doubt. O2 minus, no doubt, because this is another interesting factor is there, because this contains 10 electron. 10 electron is the noble gas configuration, that means neon configuration. So this oxygen has a greater tendency to accept electron to get the noble gas configuration, stable configuration. Everybody wants to be stable, that is the law of nature. So here O minus also turns to be stable by getting one electron, this is no doubt. But what happens, you see, this is minus, this is minus, this is repulsion. This is repulsion. So against the repulsive force, you are forcing the electron to be inside this oxygen vicinity. So we have to give energy. Energy is needed. Here energy is minus, that is energy is given out. Here energy is needed. E2 is energy needed. So question is asked, the first electron gain enthalpy of oxygen, first electron gain enthalpy of oxygen is exergic, that means energy is released. But the second electron gain enthalpy is endoergic. This is exergic, energy is given out. This is endoergic, energy is needed. So this is that you can very well explain. In this case, there is attraction because this is neutral. In this case, this is repulsion because this is negatively charged. To a negatively charged, negative, there must be repulsion. So this is a negatively charged entity, to which another negatively charged entity or electron is added. So there must be negative. But you have to, but only thing is they have tendency to have what? The noble gas configuration. So due to that tendency, this has a little bit affinity towards this electron. As a result, but this electron experiences a repulsion, and against the repulsive force, you have to put this energy. So overall energy, if you are asked to kind out, the data is there in your text, but you can calculate the energy O plus what? 2 electron. O plus 2 electron is equal to O2 minus. The total energy will be, what is the energy? Will be the overall energy will be what? That is not exothermic, but that is endoergic, and that will be minus E1 plus E2. So, this is the thermodynamic energy calculation, and this is positive. So, the overall preparation of oxygen to O2 minus, the overall will be not exergic, but that is endoergic. So, that is the case, the electron gain enthalpy, that means the energy released on adding an electron to a gaseous atom in isolated state. That is the quantitative amount of energy released. Affinity means tendency to accept. Suppose oxygen has the electron affinity towards, that means you can simply call it oxygen atom, fluorine atom, nitrogen atom, they have tendency to accept electron. So, that is the affinity, but to what extent the tendency? To what extent the tendency, that you can explain through what? This is electron gain enthalpy. So, electron gain enthalpy is a quantitative approach, but electron affinity is a qualitative one. Simply that will call what is having greater tendency, what is having less tendency. So, this is regarding the physical properties, which you can explain by this atomic size, electronic configuration, shielding effect, etc. You can explain the properties on this basis. But with regards to the chemical properties, in the chemical properties, simply you explain all these things. So, 3 chemical properties you focus on. One is oxides. In every family, you focus on oxides, then your hydrides, common chemical compounds, hydrides, then your halides, another your oxo acids, etc., are there, but you focus on these 3, oxides, hydrides and halides. So, oxides, suppose your oxygen, suppose I force on oxygen oxide, that you can call it ozone. Ozone is oxygen plus O2, O2 plus O, you can call it what? O3, this is a gas, this is also gas. But you see O3 and O2 are called allotropes, not isomers. These are allotropes. Same element present in different states. So, ozone and O2 are the different states of what? Oxygen. One is diatomic states, another is triatomic state. So, this state is called allotropes, not isomers. Isomers, the property will vary, but allotropes, the property will be almost remaining same. So, the chemical property almost remains same. So, you see oxides, ozone, your oxygen, these are the oxides of oxygen you can call it, but it is simply called ozone. So, but the other you see other elements form 2 types of, generally broadly they form 2 types of oxides. 2 types of oxides. The 2 types of oxides are dioxide and trioxide. Dioxide, simply you can write down EO2, dioxide. E means element, E is equal to element. Element means oxygen you neglect, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. So, E is the element, dioxide, and another is trioxide, EO3. You see, in this case trioxide. In this, you see, if you find out the oxidation state, this is -4 plus 4, this is -6 plus 6. This is excluding oxygen, the other can form your various type of oxidation state starting from -2 to +6. -2 to +6. -2 means, as for example, you take one example, sulfur difluoride, -2. -2 means H2S, +2 -2, H2S, -2, and maximum is 6, suppose ASF6, sulfur hexafluoride, suppose you see SO3, suppose you see SO4, in all these compounds, sulfur has plus 6 state. This is plus 6, this is minus 6 plus 6. This is so you see in this case the maximum oxidation state is 6 because there is maximum electrons will be 6 in the group 16. The maximum number of electrons in the valency shell will be 6. So that has maximum oxidation state 6 and minimum will be, you can find out by this formula, 6 minus 8. 6 minus 8 is equal to minus 2. So the minimum will be the group number minus 8, that is your minus 2. So sulfur, you see, sulfur, the minus 2 oxidation state is sulfide. Sulfide is the minus 2 oxidation state. So variable oxidation state are like this, minus 2, plus 2, plus 4, plus 6. So these are the common oxidation states of oxygen family. Common oxidation state of oxygen family. You see, in the case of oxygen, there are oxidation state varies like this. Suppose oxygen, you see, OF2, O2F2, O2F2 minus 2 plus 2, that means plus 1 oxidation state. This is minus 2 plus 2, that is plus 2 oxidation state. Then you see, there are other oxides, suppose water. Water, you see, minus 2, oxides of hydrogen, magnesium oxide, magnesium, all these oxides, you see, minus 2. So this is minus 2, that means this is called oxide. Then you see H2, this is a peroxide, at a plus 2, O2, this is minus 2, O2 minus minus. For 2, this is 2, minus 2, that is for minus 1. So here, this is called peroxide. Remember, peroxide, the oxidation state will be minus 1. Oxide, the oxidation state will be minus 2. And this is the only two compound. पृथ्वी रो एई दुईटी कंपाउंड अच्छी जो थे कि ऑक्सीजन केवल पॉजिटिव ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट हुए नहले आउ कोउथिरे पॉजिटिव स्टेट हेबो नाही कारण फ्लोरीन इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव देन ऑक्सीजन. सपोज यू टेक chlorine oxide, you write it like this, Cl2, don't write OCl2, this is incorrect, but you write down chlorine oxide, but here you call it what? Not fluorine oxide, there is no compound like fluorine oxide, you call it what? Oxygen fluoride, because fluorine having greater electronegative than oxygen, or fluorine has greater what? Oxidizing tendency or powerful oxidizing agent than oxygen. Fluorine has reduction potential is more positive than oxygen, minus plus 2.87 or like that. So the reduction potential of fluorine will be more, as this has higher tendency to be oxidized. So this is a powerful what? Oxidizing agent. जो एलिमेंट रो ऑक्सीडेशन पावर टेंडेंसी बेसी थिबो बा जे ऑक्सीडाइज हे पारुथबो ताहा गुटे पावरफुल रिड्यूसिंग एजेंट आ जे रिड्यूस हे पारुथबो ताहा गुटे पावरफुल ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट. फ्लोरीन इजीली रिड्यूस्ड, फ्लोरीन प्लस इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लोराइड आयन जेहेतु फ्लोरीन इजीली रिड्यूस हेउची, सो फ्लोरीन इज ए व्हाट? फ्लोरीन इज ए पावरफुल ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट. हमर पृथ्वी रे जत्ते एलिमेंट अछंती जत्ते एलिमेंट अच्छी जदि पचार जाए व्हिच इज ए पावरफुल ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट, सो यू कैन कॉल इट फ्लोरीन. फ्लोरीन इज ए पावरफुल ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट, इवन इट ऑक्सीडाइजेस ऑक्सीजन. तेणु ऑक्सीजन सहित यदि फ्लोरीन लो तुम रिएक्शन लिखिबा ऑक्सीजन प्लस फ्लोरीन O2F2, O2F2, you see here fluorine 0, here fluorine oxygen fluorine, here fluorine O2F2, here minus 2 plus 2, here एठी दीटा को शून्य अच्छी एठी दीटा को माइनस 2 अच्छी जेहेतु डिक्रीज होची जेहेतु डिक्रीज इन ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर, सो फ्लोरीन इज रिड्यूस, सो दिस इज एन ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट and oxygen is a what? If this is an oxidizing agent, oxygen is what? Oxygen is a reducing agent. तुमको क्लास रे के पचाले गुटे प्रॉपर्टी को जो थे ऑक्सीजन इज ए रिड्यूसिंग एजेंट. आम जनरली वी थिंक दैट ऑक्सीजन इज ए ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट. दिस इज आवर कॉमन कॉन्सेप्ट, addition of oxygen is oxidation. So oxygen is commonly in the oxidizing agent, as in the case of this magnesium plus oxygen, magnesium oxide, here plus 2, here 0, here plus 2. So oxidation takes place. So magnesium is getting oxidized by oxygen. So oxygen is an oxidant or oxidizing agent. But you see, this is only reaction where you can prove that Oxygen is not an oxidizing agent here, but that is a reducing agent. And how it reduces? It reduces fluorine to fluoride. It reduces fluorine to fluoride. So that is the case. So oxygen is not only a oxidizing agent, but also a reducing agent, but there is only reduction takes place when it reacts with fluorine. That means there is two reactions you can write down, oxygen monofluoride and oxygen difluoride, OF2 and O2F2. So these are the oxidation states of oxygen. But other, you see, other they can maximize its oxidation state up to 6, because you see why oxygen having very less oxidation number, but your sulfur having maximum oxidation number. So you see that you can explain like this. Oxygen does not have what? D orbital, but your suppose sulfur is 3s2, 3p6, 3d0, 3p4, 3s2, 3p4, 3d0. There is no d orbital is there, but that is vacant. So due to this vacant d orbital, that can expand its valency state. Vacant d orbitals. There are 5 d orbitals, and all these 5 d orbitals are vacant. Then this is the configuration of S in ground state, like this, S2, P4. But if you expand it, suppose this electron jumps to this. फांका घर पड़ी धर से जम्प करके पलि आसला पतलार रही बुझला कोरोना समय सब रखा जाऊँ सब विभिन्न क्वारंटाइन सेंटर सब आउ गोटे क्वारंटाइन सेंटर गला जो लोक वाक ना तेणु आइसोलेटेड रही जब से जम्प कर पलैगला ताल देख बर्तमान केतेटा अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन है 4टा अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन 4टा अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन हेले कौन हो पार सल्फर इन 4 ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट एज फॉर एग्जांपल सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड as for example SF4. So sulfur can have what? 4 oxidation state if it has 4 unpair electrons. Then you think of another excitation. This also comes to this. So S4 oxidation state, S6 oxidation state, all the 6 electrons are getting isolated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all these 6 electrons are getting isolated. So there are 6 unpair electrons. So it has 6 oxidation state. So SF6, SO3. So in this case there will be plus 6 oxidation state. So why this has expanded its valency up to 6 but oxygen cannot? So the reason is they have vacant d orbital. That is how oxygen differs from other elements of the group. Oxygen does not have vacant d orbital because that has only second cell. Second cell does not have d subcell, but third cell onwards you can have d subcell. So as due to vacant d subcell, that can expand its valency state up to what? Up to 4, 6. Maximum will be 6. And oxygen, you see, there are can form maximum 3. You can 2 in the previously we are getting 2 oxidation state, but it can expand up to 3. Suppose you take the case of example of the hydronium ion O plus H3O plus H3O plus. If you are asked what is the maximum valency state of oxygen here, the valency state is 3. Just like ammonium valency state is 4. That is generally 3. But it is valency state 4, and by this expanding the valency state, from 2 to 3, it gets positively charged. So when it gets positively charged, it has how many electrons? Oxygen has 6 valence electron and it has 5 electron. So as it has 5 electron, it forms 3 bonds. So just like ammonia, your ammonia is isostructural with what? Hydronium ion. So hydronium ion is pyramidal, your ammonia is also pyramidal. Understand? So that is the case. But ammonium ion is tetrahedral. Ammonia is pyramidal, but ammonium ion is tetrahedral. Just like methane. So remember, these 2 types of oxides are generally formed. one is plus 6 state, another is plus 4 state, one is dioxide, another is trioxide. So, in this case you are asked question like this. So, suppose sulfur dioxide, you are asked a question like this, sulfur dioxide is a gas, but selenium dioxide is a solid, selenium dioxide is a solid. So, that is due to this polymer, this is a discrete molecule, this is a discrete molecule, but this is a polymeric, this is polymeric. So, this is solid. So, sulfur selenium oxide, so you can write it like this, selenium oxide, selenium oxide. So, this is selenium oxide, selenium oxide, this selenium oxide, SeO2, selenium oxide, that means SeO2n. So, if this is a linear polymeric form, this is also a solid. Suppose if you are asked a question, identify sulfur trioxide in a solid state. Suppose if you are asked a tricky question, write down the different physical states of SO3. Suppose if you are asked this tricky question. So, sulfur trioxide is a gas. Sulfur dioxide when oxidizes it will sulfur trioxide is formed, and sulfur trioxide you can write it like this, the trigonal sp2 hybridization, the trigonal sp2 hybridization. Previously you write it like this also. Previously when this valency bond theory was not there, you are writing like this, sulfur trioxide. There is sulfur having 6 electrons in the valency shell, oxygen having 6 electron. So, oxygen is short of 2 electron, that short of 2 is bonded by this by formation of a dative bond or donor acceptor bond. You can write it like this also. Sulfur dioxide you can like it this also. Sulfur dioxide also you can write like this. But at present we write it like this. Sulfur dioxide we write it like this. Your sp2 hybridization with a lone pair. sp2 hybridization with a lone pair, that is called AB2L. AB2L. So, had it been this, there will be trigonality will be there, as there is no electron, only valence electron, only lone pair of electron. Lone pair never forms responsible for this shape. So, this is bent, because there is a lone pair, this is bent. So, remember sulfur dioxide is bent, sulfur trioxide is trigonal. But if the physical state if you consider, sulfur trioxide also you can have in the solid state, sulfur trioxide solid. So, sulfur trioxide solid means that will not be discrete, but in a what? But must be in a polymeric form. So, if you write down the polymeric form, that is you will be getting a trimer. In the trimeric form, this is what? This is also solid. Trimeric form you can write it like this, trimer, 3 sulfur trioxide molecules, like this, oxygen, then sulfur, you see. S3, there must be S3, trimeric means S3O9. You see, S3O9 will be having the structure like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, S3O9, S3O9. So, this is a trimeric form. And another also linear polymer is also there. So, SO3 can exhibit in 2 forms, one is trimeric form, another is linear polymeric form. Linear polymer also form, that is also gives it to solid state. Linear polymer you can write it like this, this. So, this is a linear polymer. So, this is a linear polymer, and this is a what? This is a trimer. Trimer is a cyclic, this is a trimer is a ring or cyclic. This is you can call it cyclic polymer. So, remember SO3 present in 3 forms. One is SO3 gas, another is SO3 linear polymer solid, another is SO3 trimer or cyclic polymer that is also solid. So this is the SO3, but you remember SO3 is an oxidizing agent. It is not a, but SO2 is a reducing agent. So you can distinguish between SO3 and SO2. SO3 you can, suppose it is an oxidizing agent, how can you explain? SO3 you can SO2 plus O. As it gives O, so this is an oxidizing agent. So here it is plus 6 state, here it is plus 4 state. So you see, this is the reason why sulfur trioxide can act as a what? Can act as an oxidizing agent, but it cannot be a reducing agent. So question is asked, sulfur dioxide acts as both reducing agent, common question. Sulfur dioxide both act as oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent, but sulfur trioxide only acts as an oxidizing agent. Generally, reason question will be asked from this family, generally. So sulfur trioxide oxidizing agent because it can reduce, but it cannot oxidize further. So sulfur trioxide plus 6 is the maximum, plus is the maximum oxidation state. It cannot be plus 7, plus 8, but it can reduce. It can reduce to what? Plus 4. It can reduce what? Plus 2. It can reduce to what? Minus 2. It can reduce. As reduction is there, the substance which undergo reduction is a what? Is an oxidizing agent. So sulfur trioxide is an oxidizing agent because the oxidation state can decrease, but it cannot increase. But sulfur dioxide, you see, sulfur dioxide you see, plus 4, it can increase. It can increase and it can decrease. It can decrease to 0. It can decrease to 0, even to minus 2. So sulfur dioxide, there is a decrease in oxidation number, that means reduction. So it can undergo reduction. So here sulfur dioxide is an oxidizing agent. Here you see this undergo oxidation, plus 4 to plus 6. As it undergo oxidation, here it is oxidation. So जो substance oxidation हुए ता गुटिए reducing agent. So sulfur dioxide जेहेतु oxidize है कि sulfur trioxide होची तेणु यह गुटिए reducing agent. सिंति sulfur dioxide reduction है कि जत्ते बड़े sulfur होची 4 रु 0 को आसची reduction होची. So it is an oxidizing agent. So sulfur dioxide oxidizing agent से sulfur dioxide plus magnesium. Magnesium reborn continue to burn in sulfur dioxide. Why? That forms magnesium oxide plus sulfur. Magnesium oxide plus sulfur. So magnesium getting oxidized by what? Sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide acts as an oxidizing agent. And sulfur dioxide also you pass through potassium permanganate, the color decolorizes. That means sulfur dioxide acts as a reducing agent. Understand? So these are the oxides. With regards to the sulfides, hydrides, let us say hydrides. Generally this is asked as a 3-mark question. Discuss the characteristics. The question is like this. Discuss the characteristics of, in our council examination you can find out, characteristics of hydrides of group 16, group 15 we have discussed previous class, in the previous class, or 16 or 17. तीनटा जाक पढ़ी दे चल लाइथो जे कोनसी गुटे पढ़ी जो 3 marks question पाई जो. Characteristics of hydrides of oxide, as we have discussed in the nitrogen family, ammonia, phosphine, arsine, stibine, bismuthine, like that. Similarly, here the hydrides are oxygen hydride, that you know, common, water, hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is a name is also there. Hydrogen sulfide is called hydrosulfuric acid. Remember, hydrogen sulfide is called hydrosulfuric acid. Simply sulfuric acid is H2SO4, but that is an oxy acid, but this is a hydra acid, so it is called hydrosulfuric acid. So hydrosulfuric acid, hydrosalinic acid, hydrotelluric acid, or you can call it hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen salinide, hydrogen telluride. And you see, with regards to the boiling point, you see, the boiling point of water, you know, 100 degree centigrade, that means 373 Kelvin. H2S is 213, H2S is 232, and in the Kelvin, and H2T hydrogen telluride is 269. So you see, if you study the graph, then there is a suddenly decrease in the boiling point, then gradually increases. This increases, this decreases. Question is asked, why the boiling point decreases, then increases? Why there is a deviation in boiling point, not the regular decrease or increase, but fast decreases, then increases. So fast decrease then you can explain through hydrogen bond. Water molecules are so closely associated to have a higher boiling point or less volatility. Less volatile means more boiling point. The substance which have higher boiling point generally are less volatile, easily vaporize karanti nahi. So you see, this is 373 because of this. The reason you can diagrammatically explain. Water and water molecules are associated closely due to dipole-dipole force, which is called known as hydrogen bond, So this hydrogen bond is greater than dipole-dipole force, is greater than Van der Waals force. Then you may be asked, why again there will be increase? So the sequence will be like this: H2S or water boiling point greater than this, then this, then this. So the volatility will be more for what? More volatile is H2S, then H2SE, then H2T, then water. Water is less volatile. Because of this hydrogen bond. तेणु पृथ्वी रे जो वाटर तुम्हें देखुच एटा बहुत दिन धरी जुग धरी रही आसी अछि तार कारण होची इंटरेस्टिंग हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड. Otherwise that will vaporize quickly, you may not find water. So the existence of water in the nature is due to this hydrogen bond, where the molecules are associated closely so that they not getting easily vaporized or volatility is less. So this is the volatility order. Then if you consider the other things, suppose a question is commonly asked, you see, many times a question is asked, water is a liquid, but H2S is a gas. So why water is a liquid, but in the same group, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, this is your what? This is how oxygen differs from other elements. Oxygen hydride is a liquid, but hydrogen sulfide is a gas. So only water in the first element, that is the change in physical state, that means that is liquid, the others are gases. The others are gases because of the absence of what? Hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond absence in what? Sulfur, selenium, tellurium. The oxygen having highest electronegativity, smaller size, that is 3.5. So 3.5 the oxygen electronegativity, so that will form a stronger what? Stronger hydrogen bond. So that is the reason why the water is a liquid, but H2S is a gas, but others are gases. And why there is still increase in the boiling point, that you can mention by Van der Waals, capital W, Van der Waals force. Due to Van der Waals force depend on size, with increase of atomic size, the hydrides generally increases. So as the size increases, what happens? The boiling point increases. This sudden decrease in the boiling point is due to hydrogen bond, and then there is a slightly increase in the boiling point, that is due to what? Due to Van der Waals force. So this is the common question which is asked in your council examination. Water is a liquid, but H2S is a gas. So that you can explain the presence of hydrogen bond and absence of hydrogen bond. Absence of hydrogen bond in H2S, presence of hydrogen bond in water. So similar differences you have discussed in the ammonia and phosphine. Though there is no change in physical state, but there is change in what? Boiling point. Ammonia is higher boiling point than phosphine, because ammonia experiences hydrogen bond, but phosphine does not experience hydrogen bond. So this is the volatility and boiling point. Then if you are asked to other things, suppose I consider reducing agent. Suppose I ask you which one is a better reducing agent in the hydrides. Reducing agents are those which can easily give you what? Hydrogen. Oxidizing agents are those which can easily give us what? Oxygen. So, reducing agent, that means easily give hydrogen. Easily give hydrogen means the EH bond must be bigger. As EH bond fission, bond dissociation energy will be less when E means element, when EH bond will be bigger. When EH bond is bigger, that can easily cut or easily broken. Bigger is the distance, less is the bond dissociation energy. Then easily jehetu bhangi hochi, then easily that will give you what? Hydrogen. So among the hydrides, which will be the powerful reducing agent? You can call it H2T. H2T is a more powerful reducing agent. Then what? Then H2SE, hydrogen selenide. Then what? Hydrogen sulfide. Then what? Then your water. Water is not a reducing agent. Rather that will be an oxidizing agent, but that is not a reducing agent. So this is the how the reducing agent tendency decreases. So the increases. So this is decreases. This is higher. Why this is higher? Because you write down like this: H2T, that will give you T plus 2H. Because this bond dissociation energy is less, so that there will be what? There will be the that is a powerful reducing agent. So you remember, higher is the bond dissociation energy, easier is the breaking and liberation of hydrogen. The substance which liberates hydrogen easily, that is a better what? That is a better reducing agent. So among these hydrides, you remember your H2T is a better reducing agent. Similarly, if you study the bond angle, as in the previous class we also discussed, bond angle of water. Water is 104 degree. But if you go down this S, the bond angle gradually decreases. Question is asked, the bond angle of water is more than that of bond angle of hydrogen sulfide. So the bond angle decreases, that you can explain as the same case, that is your electronegativity. Oxygen is more electronegative. Sulfur is less electronegative, bigger size, less electronegative. And remember, more is the electronegativity, more is the bond pair repulsion, and more is the bond angle. Remember this phrase, more is the electronegativity of the central atom, more is the bond pair repulsion. Suppose if I ask why there will be bond pair repulsion, you see here this bond pair, this is the bond pair, is more towards what? More towards oxygen, because oxygen is more 3.5, hydrogen is 2.1. So oxygen is more electronegative, or tendency to take this shared pair more towards itself. Similarly, these two electrons are moved towards this. So electron density in the vicinity of oxygen will be more. And you know electrons are negatively charged, like charge repel each other, as there will be a repulsion, so naturally there will what? Naturally there will be expansion of bond angle. So expansion of bond angle is due to bond pair repulsion. So due to this bond pair repulsion, the bond angle expands. So among this period, starting from what? From oxygen to tellurium, there will be the bond angle gradually decreases. Stability also you can explain like this. So between suppose water and H2S, if I ask you which one is more stable, so between water and H2S, water is more stable, that you find water, but you can find H2S, that finding is more stability is due to greater bond dissociation energy of what? OH bond is shorter. So it is difficult to, more energy is needed to dissociate this. So as more energy is needed, so it is what? More stable. जोटा स्टेबल होता भांगा बेसी एनर्जी दरकार पड़ो. सो एठी जेहेतु बेसी एनर्जी दरकार पड़ुची, सो इट इज व्हाट? इट इज मोर स्टेबल. So greater is the stability, greater is the energy required to what? Greater is the energy required to break the bond. So greater stability. So stability also gradually decreases. So H2T is less stable, or the energy required to break the bond is less. The reason you can see in the case of hydrogen telluride, say, tellurium is the bigger element in this period or in this group. Suppose this, it is bigger. Water you can write it like this. Just for comparison sake, water is a smaller bond length, high energy, larger bond length, less energy. So as it is less energy needed, naturally that is what? Naturally that is less stable. So hydrogen telluride is less stable. So this is regarding the hydrides, oxides, and another thing is your halides. Halide, generally in the halide case you see, mostly the fluorine is more reactive. Fluorine is more reactive than chlorine, than bromine, than your iodine. Iodides are not generally formed. Suppose sulfur you see, in the sulfur the common compounds are what? Fluorides of sulfur. So why there will be common compounds like fluoride, not chloride, not bromide, the iodide is very, very less. Suppose I ask you compound tellurium iodide, that is rarely formed. But the fluorides are common form, that is due to what? Why most of the fluorides are formed? Suppose say oxygen fluoride, sulfur fluoride, then selenium fluoride. What are the fluorides are formed? Because that is your more electronegativity and your what? High reduction potential. Due to these, mostly these two reasons, the fluorides are, and fluorine is smaller, naturally the bond dissociation energy will be more. So fluorides are common. So in any case, that fluorides are common, and then chloride, then bromide, then iodide. So in this oxygen family, mostly you will find the fluorides and the iodides, bromides, chlorides are less. They also form compound, but less. So this is regarding the halides. So this is all about your oxygen family, and there are other compounds of oxygen family, oxoacids, etc. there. But just you remember for a 1 hour class, you think this is the basis of oxygen family. So let me thank you all of you for your patient hearing.